And good morning. Good Saturday morning. Beautiful Saturday morning.
But chilly.
But chilly. But that's a good thing, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah,
Powell?
29. I'll take that any day. I love it.
29. Later this week, we'll see 77, they say.
Yeah, I heard like a disparity between 27 last night and 80 next week.
Yep. And, it won't be this cold all day today either unless, it's probably in the 50s, I think. Depends on what that breeze is doing, whether it will feel chilly. But a lot of 60s. I thought about just selling the winter clothes. Do we need them anymore? Winter's
barely ever need them.
We need it. Christmas week was cold when we had the. I don't think we hit single digits, did we?
Yeah, I think so.
Did we?
Yeah,
I knew it was very close.
Like Christmas Eve, or maybe
or a day after.
Day after.
It was real cold, but once we got through that, it's been pretty much on the warm side. Mornings a little chilly, afternoons very pleasant, but doesn't matter because it's the indoor sports season. A lot of basketball winding down as far as conference play last night with the conclusion of most conference tournaments.
But if you're involved with a college athletic team,
big day.
Been going on for a month.
Big day.
Like baseball, softball.
Oh, yeah, cranking up. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't know what you guys watched last night, but when I got home from the basketball tournament that I attended at CVCC, I was just flipping channels, and on, I want to say, ESPN2 was Tennessee at Arizona baseball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Already cranked up and playing. Sure. And
softball, college softball been going.
Tennessee, I think, was ranked third in the second or third. I saw a number by their name, and they went down to the hands of Arizona, unranked Arizona last night, 3-1. But
that's usually a good program. Arizona.
Yeah, it is. And Brett enjoyed it because you knew who Tennessee was when you flipped the channel, the orange, the gray. But Arizona's uniform is similar to the Dodgers. Last night. That's kind of what they reminded me of. I
always thought of Arizona.
Not exactly Dodger blue, but they were in between navy and Dodger blue. So what did you think of them as?
I thought they had some type of red scheme in their.
They do have some red.
Okay.
So do the Dodgers.
Well, yeah, that's right.
It's
subtle.
It is. It's the number.
The red number, yeah.
It's the number only on the. Or is it on the home and visitor jersey?
I think so. It's just on the front. Number on the back's blue.
Right. But I'd be interested. I like stuff like that. I'd be interested to know how that came about, how they got why they got the red number.
Yeah.
Was it just to see it better? Was it? I don't know.
Well, it certainly does help spotters in the press.
Well, in baseball, you kind of know anyway.
Yeah.
You know where they're gonna. You know where they're gonna be in their position, but from a distance, it might help see it. Especially on the gray uniform, might help see it a little bit. But, I didn't get to pay a lot of attention to that game, but I did see. I was doing some other work, and I did see when it ended that Arizona had had won that game, like I said, 3-1, I think it was. But, it just didn't dawn on me yet till, that here we are. Here we are with these a lot of baseball, college baseball going on already, mainly in warm weather.
Yes, the college Rhinos have played 12 games already.
12 games they have. Been seeing Gaston, CVCC, Caldwell.
They're all
cranked up. And
Cleveland Tech, all these areas.
Yes. So it is that time of year, but of course basketball is still.
Oh yeah.
The feature sport right now as far as high school and college. And what was the biggest story this week? I just as far as college basketball goes, was there any big upset?
Purdue's sort of starting to crumble. I think
is that right?
What, 3 in a row? Lost 3 in a row. Excuse me. Isn't that right, Brett? I know they've lost.
I don't know. I knew they lost this week.
They lost to Indiana. They lost to Northwestern. Then they lost to Maryland.
Maryland, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Is there a dominant
They've lost 3 out of 4. They had a win in between there.
I think we've seen, because there have been so many changes at the top spot, there's not a dominant team. There's not a,
Is there a favorite? So no favorite to win the national title, you wouldn't think?
I don't think so.
No favorite. Anybody you think is probably going to make the Final Four?
Well, I tell you what, the Big 12 is really good top to bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 2 teams make the Final Four in the Big 12.
If you had to pick, would it be?
Well,
I would still bet on Kansas.
Still bet on Kansas.
Yeah.
But God, there's so many good
They'll
ones.
probably, Kansas will either lose in the second round
or go all the way.
Or get to the Final Four.
I know.
That seems to be
where they go.
Yeah.
Where they roll.
If they can get past those early rounds, they usually do pretty well.
Yeah, Texas is good. Baylor, don't forget Baylor. Yeah. Iowa State.
And then there's
Houston,
who's not in that conference, but in that area.
Right.
Okay, so
it's also really good.
Just by looking at the rankings right now, it's still Alabama on top, but didn't they lose this week, which will drop him out of the number 1 spot? Am I right about that? When did Tennessee beat them? Was that last week or this week?
Wednesday.
So that'll drop them out of the number 1.
They'll probably put Houston number 1.
So they haven't lost this week, right? I'm assuming.
No, they Houston's last loss was January 22nd.
So
they actually got jumped.
It makes me wonder if that's the longest streak.
A week or 2 ago.
The longest winning streak in the country, the way college basketball is today.
I think last week they were in second, and the number 1 and number 3 teams swapped places, and Houston stayed second. But I think they'll move to number 1 this week.
So would you think that Alabama just drops to number 2 with that loss to Tennessee, because Tennessee was a top 10 team?
Yeah.
With Purdue losing, Purdue's 23-3 now. UCLA, I didn't realize UCLA was having as good a year as they are, 21-4.
Yeah,
and ranked 4th in the country. So
I like their chances to get.
Do you?
To the promised land. A lot of veterans back.
Yeah, they are. They are an older.
But I do always wonder about the competition.
And they've
Pac-12. Yeah.
Roger said it was a low tide on Wednesday. So there you go.
Low tide on Wednesday.
I like that. The tide went down to the Vols on Wednesday night.
Yeah, UCLA's toughest competition is Arizona in that conference, and they played them once and they lost. They'll play them again the last day of the regular season.
I think the 2 major teams that we hear the least about in any sport are in the state of Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona and Arizona State. You just don't hear a whole lot about either one. And
no, not in this time zone.
No, and Arizona has been steady in basketball. I won't say they're always top 10 or whatever, but they're pretty good right now.
Let's go all the way back to Lou Dawson. They won the national title in '97.
They did. But, have they been to a Final Four since?
Well, they lost to Duke.
Yeah,
they beat Duke one year. They also beat Duke 1 year maybe to get to the Final Four.
But then they also lost to Duke. It was 0-1 in the championship.
Yeah, 0-1.
Yeah, they did.
They beat them in the Sweet 16 in 2011.
Yeah, that's right.
The year Kyrie was at Duke.
But Lute Olson's championship, was that before or after that?
Way before.
Was it? Okay.
97.
Okay.
97.
Well, that's not way before, is it?
Way before 2011.
And then
I was thinking about
14 years.
Of course, Lute retired, and then Sean Miller was there, but then he finally got the axe because of corruption, recruiting, illegalities.
Because he created the axe.
Yeah. He resurfaced, too. I forget where he's coaching now. Isn't it funny how all these disgraced coaches always resurface, don't they?
Sure.
They do. If you can coach, somebody's going to take it.
And college football as well.
Oh, yeah.
College football as well. They sure do.
Did you know Steve Robinson is on Arizona's staff? The longtime Carolina assistant?
Yeah, he was with Roy, right?
Yeah.
Roy Williams.
He might have even been with Dean. Was he?
He might have been.
He go back that
far?
I
think he was at Carolina a long time.
Yeah.
I thought he came to Carolina from Kansas.
He might have.
Might have.
With Roy.
Might have.
Okay.
Yep. Butch Parker says a joy listening to you boys this morning. Good to hear
Hey,
from
good to hear Butch's.
Butch as well. Took Butch with me last night
Hey,
up to see
that's
BCC.
great.
Yeah. Yep, doing
But
well.
he was happy to get out and
Yep.
get back to the old haunts.
Exactly. I know he was. I could tell. We had a good night. Had a
Right.
lot of fun last night. You guys have mentioned something making me think. You talk about the Big 12, and I got to throw this out there, man. You've got Kansas, Texas right now 5 and 6, Baylor at number 9, K-State at number 12.
Yeah.
Then it kind of lets off a little bit, but
Iowa State,
Yeah.
TCU.
Arizona's last Final Four was 2001.
we don't want to see TCU
No,
in the national title game.
no, not after football.
Unless it's against Duke.
Not after football.
Okay. Yeah. They were also in the Final Four in '94. Charlotte, Arizona was.
that's right.
That's Lenny.
Yeah, they've been to 4.
Had they?
Yeah.
Um,
88, 94, 97, and 01.
yeah.
That was the year that 40 Minutes of Hell beat Duke, right? 94.
94, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. Who was the guy that hit that shot out of the? I can't remember his name. I
Scotty
can see
Thurman.
it now. Scotty
I can
Thurman.
still see that in my night
The
band.
Battier just barely missed. If you hadn't clipped his
No, it
fingernails,
wasn't Battier.
who
Might have
was
been Grant Hill.
that almost blocked it.
That must have
Maybe
been
it
30
was
feet
him.
away from the top of the key. Just
Wasn't Battier's time yet.
Ah,
It wasn't top of the key.
He would have blocked
was
it.
it not?
No, it was over on the wing, wasn't it, Brett?
I think it. Yeah, it was on.
I
the
mean, he was
wing.
almost
Yeah.
out of bounds
Okay.
when he drilled that thing. But yeah,
Maybe
it
it's
was a big
Cherokee
shot.
Parks. He tried to block it. I don't know.
I doubt that. Oh,
He was on that team.
Jason says Steve Robinson came to UNC with Roy in '03. He wasn't retained when Roy retired and joined Arizona's staff. Remember, before Leonard Hamilton coached Florida State, Robinson was the Florida State coach. I did remember he was the Florida State. That's where I
Oh,
thought
that's
y'all were
right.
going to say the former Florida State head coach.
That's right, he was.
And then,
I remember seeing him down in Garner at the Legion World Series. He had a son playing for.
yep,
One
he
of the
sure
teams
did.
down
He
there.
sure did.
Hmm.
He sure did. And I want to say
It might have been Garner.
No, I remember that, and I want to say it was like.
It had to be somebody in that area,
Yeah.
around Chapel Hill.
Well, that's
'Cause
what I thought
mean, that's
too.
where I would
For
think
some
he
reason,
lived.
High Point. Yeah,
it could have been.
High Point, or I thought I wanted to say Lexington, but I don't think it was Lexington. For some reason, High Point is who I thought he played for. But
Okay, I want to
I tend to forget.
let me interject one thing. Stephen Lowe chimes in on Facebook, and he does say that Maiden's DJ Spring will be competing for the
Yep, we're gonna get the
2A
all that.
title.
DJ Spring, Mason Avery,
Yep.
West Lincoln competing for the 2A title. Yep, a lot of well, not a lot. We had a lot go in this
Not
area.
a lot really got
Yep.
to the
Now, except
semi.
for Fred T. Ford. Now, Fred T. Ford, out of 14 classes, I don't know, they might have 8 or so wrestling for state titles. They got
Wow.
a lot of guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
It
what was
is.
the deal with I got an email, I guess last night, saying NCHSAA determined there were multiple clerical errors made in the conduct of the 2A 160-pound match.
Really?
Semifinal match between Ian Moore from Bandy's and Jeremiah Jones of Southwest Onslow will re-wrestle their semifinal at 9 a.m. today.
Whoa.
I don't know. Never heard of that before. But I can find out. If, obviously, we got some people that are down there at that event who would probably know.
I don't get what clerical errors
But then didn't you say something
about the
conduct? Yeah, conduct.
of the. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't make much sense.
Conduct of evidently not of the rest.
I don't know. It just says we're made in the conduct
Well, I would say it would be of the wrestlers.
Okay.
of the
Why would it matter if
2A
it wasn't of the
160-pound
wrestlers?
I know.
semifinal match.
Why would they make them wrestle again, Mike, if it wasn't to do with the
True.
True.
But it says multiple clerical errors were made.
So they didn't put the whole details of
I guess.
why somebody should be disqualified or something. I don't know. That's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe somebody's maybe one of those people that I'm talking about might be listening this morning and able to answer that question.
I guess our semifinals and finals today.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sure are. Let's see. Lenny says Steve Robinson was assistant at Kansas. We're going to find out everything about Steve Robinson, where he was born,
Yeah.
how many hours his mom was in labor. We got the stats coming on Steve Robinson this morning. Was an assistant with Kansas, at Kansas with Roy.
Yep.
Went to be the head coach at Tulsa and Florida State, and then returned to Chapel Hill with Roy as an assistant. So now my question is, and none of the Carolina people may know the answer to this, but why did Hubert not keep him around?
Yeah.
I wonder. Is there something there back maybe in Hubert's playing days? He wouldn't have been there when Hubert played, though, would he?
Not at all.
I just wondered, or maybe Hubert already had a full staff and just didn't have room. But
Yeah, he wanted his own people.
But you'd think somebody that's been around and knows the ropes and knows the ins and outs of everything to do with Carolina basketball, you'd want to have stick around with you at least for a couple of years.
Right.
How old is Steve Robinson now?
He's
65.
He's got to be up there.
Man, he named it quick, didn't he?
Yeah.
60. He was waiting on that one.
He's from
I like
Roanoke,
it.
Virginia. He played at Ferrum Junior College and then at Radford.
We have a lot of kids here today in this area that go to Ferrum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Yeah, he coached at Tulsa for a few years and Florida State for about 5 years.
Hubert wanted assistant coaches who played at Carolina, Jason says. One of the ones that played at Carolina. The only thing I wonder is did that cause a did that sting Steve Robinson? Was he how did he handle that? Or maybe it didn't bother him at all. I don't know. You just never know.
Well, he's at Arizona now, and they got a pretty good program. So
Right.
Yeah, he came out okay.
Yep. Lenny says basically the same thing, except Lenny says he should have kept him, but Hubert said he had to be a Carolina graduate. So, just trying to think of
Who is on Hubert's staff? I can't really think.
I know
right
Sean May is
May.
one of them.
Yep, I do remember seeing Sean May on the bench, but as far as the rest, I really don't. Asking you will receive because it's going to pop up here.
Well, that's why I threw it out there. Maybe we would receive.
Well, here I can get it for you.
Yep, I'm just trying to look
Brad
here.
Frederick, Jeff Lebo,
Yeah, Lebo.
Sean May,
Lebo's got some years under his belt now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's been a long time.
Director
since
of
he
Recruiting is Pat Sullivan.
Okay.
Director of
played.
Player
Not the
and,
Auburn Pat Sullivan. I
Player
No.
and Team Development is Jackie Manuel. Remember him?
Yep.
Yep.
And then there's some other names that I don't recognize. But yeah, the coaches are Davis, Frederick, Lebo, and Sean May.
All we know is it's not Dre Bly.
And I don't even remember Brad Frederick.
Dre Bly was released of his duties, wasn't he, recently
Yeah.
from the football squad
That's right.
for some reason. So, just looking on here, guys, just a couple more things on college basketball. Florida Atlantic in the top 25. Do you guys realize that?
Yeah.
As I look down through here, the Xavier, St. Mary's, Creighton. I mean, those guys have really become consistent programs. It doesn't surprise me at all. But you're going down there. North Carolina State still ranked going into the week at number 23.
They won't be after tomorrow.
Who they got tomorrow?
Carolina.
Yeah, they cannot beat Carolina. Yeah, I got the same thing here from Lenny.
And they lost earlier this week.
May, Sullivan. He put Leno. I don't think Jay Leno is on the staff. But
We want him to be their head coach.
It'd be comical.
He can't stay out of the hospital.
Jackie
First he got
Manuel,
burned.
Brad Frederick.
and then
Yeah,
he was
what's
in a
up with that?
motorcycle wreck.
What is up with that?
I don't know.
He is living dangerously, right?
Yeah.
Ned says the Arizona Wildcats info per team website, the uniforms last night are throwbacks to their 1986 national championship team. Their official colors are navy blue and cardinal red. So, yeah, so now we know. Now we know the reason they're behind the –
And that's what they were last night. It's like the Dodgers uniform, but it's navy instead of Dodger blue.
Right. Yep. They look good. It really did look.
And I did
good,
see
clean
that
uniform.
the Dodgers put that red number on the jersey, just like y'all mentioned. It's for people for it to stand out a little better.
I wonder what year
1952.
52 is when they went to the red number.
Which is around the time they moved to L.A.
Right. Mike Powell did a story on that.
Yeah, the change of colors.
Back in 52.
Yep.
Brad Frederick, this is from Jason, played at Carolina from 94 to 98 as a walk-on. His dad is the former AD at Kansas, who hired Roy Williams. Now we know the reason he's got a job.
Yeah.
That tells the story.
His
there.
dad gave Roy his job at Kansas.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, Florida Atlantic, like I said, that's the only thing that really stands out here and there others receiving votes, so I got to mention this one too. Oral Roberts. I don't know if you guys remember Oral Roberts back in what, Mike, 70s, 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Used to be a team that would surprise you and pull some upsets.
Well, a few years ago, they had a good run in the NCAA tournament.
Right,
I think they made the Sweet 16.
Yep, they did. Is that a Oklahoma?
But, their best player.
School, Mike, or Texas? Where is Oral Roberts? It's out. It's
yeah,
out
it's in
there.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Their best player from that team is at Texas Tech now, I think.
Oh, really? I was going to say that Oral Roberts might be the best basketball team in the state of Oklahoma, but Mike would want to argue that with me. And
Well, they might be this year.
well, I don't see Oklahoma State.
They're in the
best of the rest.
votes.
Yeah, the receiving votes.
OU has not had they've had an up and down.
Well, they had the one big upset win over
Alabama.
Alabama. They did have
That's
that
about all
win.
they've done.
That's about their only claim to fame on the entire
Yeah,
season.
they probably won't make the.
And what has happened to Maryland? Maryland was up in there, weren't they? Approaching the top 10 at one time.
I don't know, but they just beat Purdue this week.
Yeah.
They're 18-8.
I wonder if that'll get them in the rankings. They only received one vote the previous week, but and then you mentioned TCU 17-8. They were ranked at number 22. San Diego State, who coaches them now? Don't tell me it's still the same guy that left Michigan.
Fisher. I don't think so.
No,
I don't think he's there either. But
it's not Steve Fisher
Okay,
anymore.
okay.
I don't think.
K-State doesn't surprise. Marquette doesn't surprise. It's just it's the typical teams that you would expect for the most part.
Brian Dutcher coaches San Diego State.
With the exception, though, I say it's the same teams you'd expect, with the exception of I don't think I mentioned Duke or North Carolina.
Yep.
So things have changed. Things have definitely changed. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, you can even say that North Carolina is struggling to make the NCAA tournament at this point.
Yeah, but I think the guys that follow them very close can tell me I think they've played much better the last couple games.
Yeah.
Which is maybe a turning point for them.
Could be. They blew out Clemson, but then they lost to Miami. But
yeah, but losing to
lost.
Miami is not.
they're very good.
Yeah.
They've lost 4 out of 5.
Have they?
So even if they're playing better, they're still not
maybe,
not winning.
Maybe it was the strength of the schedule. I don't know.
Oh, they have had a tough stretch.
Well, here's my thing on Carolina. Were they able just to capture lightning in the bottle last year, or are they the team?
That's what Lenny thinks.
Are they the team that they were before they got hot, and now they are this year?
Right.
Is that their real team?
Well,
I still think they're capable of
what?
making a run.
Yeah.
If Caleb Love gets hot and carries them.
And he shot the ball better the last couple games too. As a matter of fact, he kept them in even in some of the losses. He shot the ball a lot better. At least down the stretch, he did. Alabama at Tennessee. That is. Wait a minute. How did I get to Wednesday?
Yeah, I was going to say that game just happened.
Yes, it did. How did I?
I think the big one today is Baylor at Kansas. 2 top 10 teams.
You would think so.
How much interest does that draw for you? Will you make sure you watch it?
Well, I won't make sure I watch it.
Casually watch it.
I might catch a little bit of it.
Casually watch it. That's the way I am with college basketball, because college basketball is
I'm not even going to make sure
ago.
I watch Duke's game.
It's just hard to watch. There's more turnovers than there are points. There's more freshmen playing, which creates that's not as good a basketball brand of basketball.
Oh yeah.
And I just hope that someday, somehow it gets fixed, and we see more teams or all teams with some juniors and seniors on the court. It does makes it a much better game.
Most fun team to watch in the ACC is Miami.
Well, they got a lot of veterans.
They have an older team, and they play really good offense.
They have an older coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Larinaga. He's one of my favorites, that's for sure. Jason says Brian Ducher, the San Diego State coach, is a former Michigan assistant under Steve Fisher. So back during the Fab 5 days, that's why he is still around. And with that squad. So
how about Georgia Tech and Florida Tech playing today?
Oh, well.
A good chance for Georgia Tech to get a win.
Florida Tech. Yeah, is right. Who is Florida Tech?
It's got their record as 0-0 on here. I mean, that's probably not true, but
pickup game.
I guess they just don't have any info on it.
Notre Dame, Virginia, Illinois. Should we even bring up how Duke got screwed last Saturday? Was that on Saturday?
Yeah.
And then the ACC finally.
A day that will live in infamy.
Well, I told Brett as soon as that gave me, I said the ACC will be apologizing in the morning, and that don't do any good at all. It doesn't do any good at all because then it's too late.
Well, here's my question, guys. Hypothetically, had Coach K still been on the bench when they reviewed the call, would it come out different?
Well, you'll never know the answer to that.
No, I said hypothetical.
Yeah, you'll just never know the answer to that.
Yeah, but you can't say that Duke is getting
honestly, I wish the call would have went their way, but I would hope that wouldn't be the reason.
Right.
Right. I would hope that wouldn't.
No,
be
they should get that call right, no matter who the teams are
and
or
it
who
wound
the
up
coaches
being
are.
more of a rule book mishap
than
it did watching the shot and the foul and the clock. So who knows?
And it couldn't have been any more obvious to me that. I mean, they even said.
It's not going to hurt him.
They said he got fouled.
Not really.
After the buzzer, which shouldn't matter, but I thought he got fouled before the buzzer.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, it's so close. I know the ball left his hand before.
Yeah.
Before
well, I thought his forearm got hit with 0.2 or 0.3
it was a
on
good
the clock.
play.
And the rule book states as long as it's in the same motion.
Yeah.
That it's the foul still should be called.
But how do you miss it once you review it? That's the thing.
Yeah. Why do you have replay?
Why do you have replay? Why do you have the review?
Let's see. Maybe they need to be able to call New York like the NFL does and let New York make the decision. Brad Frederick was a walk-on at Carolina. His dad hired Roy at Kansas and Bob Frederick. He was a high school teammate of Scott Williams, Roy's son, Scott Williams, at Lawrence High in Kansas. So more background on those guys. I'm going to name a few. You tell me which one draws the most interest here. Notre Dame, Virginia, Illinois, Indiana.
That's a good one in the Big Ten.
14 against the unranked Illinois. Illinois at one time was ranked.
But, their records are one's 17-8 and one's 18-8.
Okay.
I guess Indiana just has more quality wins.
Makes a good matchup. I thought at one time Indiana was on their way back, to stardom, but I'm starting to wonder.
Well, they're pretty good right
better
now.
Than they were.
But 18-8 isn't not a great record.
Who's the coach? Mike Woodson, who was on the 76 undefeated Indiana team, I believe.
I know you're really wanting to see this one. Boston College at Florida State.
Oh boy.
A lot of burgundy and old gold.
That's the battle for the top pick and next year's
Tennessee, Kentucky.
Now that's
at Rupp Arena.
That's got some interest.
Yeah, that's Kentucky unranked though, which is
struggling to.
But still 17-9. I mean, they're
they're
only 3 games less than what Tennessee is.
Right. Oklahoma at Texas. That's you, Mike. Oklahoma
at Red River
Wobble. If that game was at Oklahoma, I would feel better about their chances. But playing at Texas, I would have
Texas
to lean
is
toward
one of the best teams in the country, and that's even after losing their coach during the season.
And they've been pretty much ranked top 10 all season, haven't they? Pretty much, and still there at number 6.
Well, now was the Texas coach fired, suspended indefinitely?
I'm not sure. I know the charges were dropped earlier this week.
Right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that. I mean, I kind of doubt Texas is going to bring him back. Yeah, he'll probably go. He'll probably go coach somewhere, but
not in this environment.
And his name is
Chris Beard.
Yeah,
Texas
Tech.
Left Texas Tech to go to Texas.
He took Texas.
How'd that work out? Yeah, I know he did.
To the Final
did.
Four.
To the championship game, yeah.
Probably should have never left, the way I look at it.
No.
Yep. Lenny says he was fired. Let's see. We mentioned Tennessee at Kentucky. There's a couple more I wanted to mention on here. Wake Forest today playing at Miami. I just don't give Wake Forest – I'll probably be wrong here. I just don't give them much of a chance. Jason also agrees Chris Beard was fired. Iowa State at K-State, a battle of two ranked teams there.
Yeah.
Number 19 and number 12. Iowa State, I've watched them. I thought they were going to be pretty good, and I've watched a couple games, and they lost both of the games that I watched them play. So, you know, it's just a hit and miss right now. But out of all these, I don't see anything on here that's must-watch TV today. To me, at least.
There's just college basketball is not
It's down,
must watch
man.
right now.
It is. Some of it's ugly. Some of it is just downright ugly. Tomorrow you got North Carolina at NC State at 1 o'clock ESPN, Ohio State and Purdue. The whole Big Ten, man. I mean, the teams that's usually pretty good, like Michigan and Ohio State and some others, they're bottom of the barrel, aren't they?
Ohio State's been bad.
Yeah, they've been bad.
11-15.
Better bring back Thad Matta.
Now that Memphis
Matta,
Memphis and Houston probably be a good one to watch.
Memphis and Houston.
Memphis is 20-6.
And that one's today, right?
That's tomorrow.
Oh, it is tomorrow. Yeah,
at 3.
I see it now. Yep.
That's Penny Hardaway, of course. And that'll be the first of 2 meetings between those two.
I'm looking at the
played
games
yet.
tomorrow, though, guys, and the most exciting thing I saw on here is a tennis shoe ad that popped up. That it's just nothing. I've not, nothing's been much watched TV for me in college basketball. I think it's lost its luster. I really do.
Well, let's face it, none of us really. We wake up in March for March Madness.
Yeah. Well, it's so different from college football, isn't it?
I know.
Where every game matters. To no game matters, almost.
Right. They don't. You just mentioned Duke could lose to Virginia. It's not going to affect their NCAA
seeding.
It would have helped their seeding if they'd have won.
You think it would?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think by the way it ended, it's going to help
by the way
their
it
seeding.
ended, it's not going to hurt them.
I think by the way it ended, it's not.
I mean, the committee knows that
Right.
they got hosed on that one. I think.
Hey, he did a rhyme there, didn't he?
The committee knows they got hosed.
Let's see. He left Texas. Lenny's talking about Beard here. He left Texas Tech to go to Texas because he was a Texas grad, I think. Well, now I understand that. If he actually went there and then got offered the job, you're not going to
probably got offered a lot more money.
Yeah,
too.
most time you're not going to turn down the school you played for. So
Marco Arias says Miami may be the most intriguing team. In the
they
country.
are good. They are good.
They're fun to watch too.
Yeah.
They have good guards.
Like Isaiah Wong.
They really
Isaiah Wong.
Elite Eight last year.
Yep.
But not Final Four.
No.
Who
they
can
have
name
Final
the
Four.
Final Four from last year? Duke and Carolina, right?
Yeah, and
Who are the other
Kansas
two?
and
Kansas and Villanova.
Okay.
Kansas beat Villanova.
I could have got it
in their
all but
semifinal.
Villanova. I'm not sure I could have named Villanova. I'm not
Yeah.
sure I could have named.
And Villanova was surprised last year, were they not? In a way.
Well, I like their coach, and I think they're always going to.
Well, he's gone.
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Where'd he
You're
go?
right.
He's retired.
Retired.
Who is their coach then?
I don't even
That
know.
shows you how much attention
Yeah.
I've paid
Yeah,
this
he's
year
gone.
to college basketball. I'm surprised.
And they've not been very good this year.
How old is he? He can't.
No, he's probably
Around
60.
60.
Yeah, he retired early.
Think he comes back? Somebody else? So
No, I think it's the way college basketball is going.
it's bothering him too.
Yeah.
The portal,
Yeah.
the NILs.
Hey, who wants to deal with all of that?
Yeah.
Kyle Neptune, Villanova's head coach.
Oh wow! They
Kyle
went with another
Neptune.
planet.
He's otherworldly.
He is. Yeah.
He was a Villanova
From another
assistant from 13 to 21. He left and coached Fordham for 1 year, and then Villanova brought him back.
Yeah.
We won't hear from them anymore.
Yeah. Neptune. I like it.
I love it. That's one of the great names in college
Yeah,
coaching.
It is. Yeah, he's out of this world. I like it. All right, I'll run down to college basketball. Let's take a timeout. Let's mention this before we go, and we'll talk about it when we come back. We lost the great Tim McCarver this past week. Love him or hate him, he was well known for his analysis of Major League Baseball.
And he made the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster.
Yep, and should have.
Yeah.
Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. At Steeple Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Steeple Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Talking a little bit about Tim McCarver. You know what I almost said? I almost slipped there and said Tim McGraw.
Oh, yeah.
Tim McCarver.
Don't confuse that.
I've been watching Tim McGraw. It's been weeks ago, months ago now, in whatever year that was, 1883?
Oh, it's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, and then is it 1923?
1923 with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I've been watching that one too.
So 1963 should be next.
Yeah.
You go 40 years.
They just missed a great year by one if that happens. Yeah,
Tim McGraw is a really good actor.
Yeah, he is. I give him credit. He really is.
And he's got. I mean, he's been in. I
thought he was really good in the Friday Night Lights.
He was
movie.
really good in Friday Night.
And it was a small role, but I thought he was really good.
Yeah, as the alcoholic father.
I'll agree with you. He's a much better actor than he is singer. Some of his songs I like. Most of them, I don't know.
And he was also in the blind.
A little too whiny.
The Blind Side.
The Blind Side.
Blind
Yeah.
Side.
I didn't even realize he was in that.
Yeah.
But
he played.
Well, that's one of those I haven't seen.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies I hadn't seen in its entirety from start to finish.
Was it Sandra Bullock's
husband.
that kind of helped.
Although on the
take in the kid and
on the I can't remember which channel it is, but there's some classic movie channels on DirecTV. They go for the first time ever last Friday, I think it was, or last start to finish on Deliverance. I did. I went straight start to finish on Deliverance. So
yeah,
I'd seen it.
It's on. I'm watching.
I'd seen it all probably a couple times in bits and pieces, but this time I went start to finish, and it's a interesting story to say the least, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I was thinking the other day, who had the worst role ever in a movie? It has been Ned Beatty.
That's the most humiliating role ever in the film.
The worst role ever.
I like Burt Reynolds' character, the survivalist. You know. Yeah. It's.
Yeah. Well, actually, all of them were pretty good. I'm answering Butch here.
Well, one that popped into my head was Zed from Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
Now you're gonna have to remind me.
We'll have to do that off the air probably.
Who Zed was? That's what I meant. Just who he was. Well, I guess if you tell me who he was, it's off the air description. There's a lot of off air descriptions for Pulp Fiction. Yeah, that's another one that
he was the biker guy that I guess was involved in the pawn shop. He's in the pawn shop.
Oh yeah, okay, that's enough.
The pawn shop
yeah, that's
scene,
enough.
yeah.
Same, kind of very similar to Ned Beatty.
Yeah, it was
situation. You know, here's a good question. We always ask a question that's out of the blue, and
Peter Green was the actor.
Get people's answers. What is the one movie, and you can only name one, that when you hit it, you're not turning it? The TV's staying right there.
Roadhouse.
The rest. Wow, Mike was quick now.
I'm telling you.
Mike was quick.
Such a guilty pleasure. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I just told you mine, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I know. I knew Brett's was Pulp Fiction. That's what I'm about the same way with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I would watch. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You need to.
It is my favorite movie
Pulp
of all time.
Is very.
It's very high on my list too.
And it's like a lot of stories going on at one time, and they're all
oh, it's
together.
not a straight narrative.
Nah,
they're all mixed in together.
What's his name? Quentin.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I don't turn any of his. If I come across one of his movies, I'll watch it.
Of his movies. And Butch told me last night that some of the guys he works with have a series now, and it's about. I can't remember exactly what the name. He showed me, and I should have copied it down. But he said that Will Byrne said when he sat down to watch this series, and it's on Amazon Prime, and it's something to do with Navy SEALs, that it was so interesting. He said he watched the entire 8 episodes before he went to bed. He got hooked. And next
5
day,
a.m.
or the next day. But said he could not let it go.
Could not let it go.
Could not let it go.
Yeah, well, that's what I call getting hooked.
And Butch just said he's into it now. He's gonna start checking that out and see why. And he said that Will wasn't the only one told him that. A lot of people said it you can't let go. You gotta watch it. Lenny says Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
And it's
really
always
good movie.
on.
It is. Yeah, it is. You're right. It seems to always be on. The only problem with it, how long is that? Is it 3, or am I thinking confusing it with the length of it with something else? Is it 3 hours?
That's pretty long.
Running time's over 2 hours.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times, if the movie's good, you don't even realize, and that is one of those that the time goes by faster.
Same year as Pulp Fiction.
Really?
Yeah. And Forrest Gump. That was one of the great movie years.
You know, Forrest Gump would be a lot of people's answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot too.
Yeah.
Can you name me the singer a real life singer, but he also played a singer in Roadhouse?
Mike, I'm going to tell you something. Never seen Roadhouse.
Oh, that's right, you had.
I haven't.
Well, now
I haven't. But now that still should.
Lenny has. He's blind.
Yep. Ray Charles.
Stevie Wonder.
Ronnie
No.
Millsap.
No.
No, he's a Southern rock singer.
Southern Rock, and he's blind.
Mm-hmm. That's right. In fact, it's so bad.
Heavenly Eyes, like that.
Heavenly Eyes.
I don't even know. I can't think of a Southern Rock
Yeah, y'all just named the only ones I could
Yeah,
name.
right.
Those three.
that are blind. So he must not be a well-known.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
Maybe I
He
just
was
didn't know it.
planning to dive so bad they had to put
Is
up
that show called Terminal List?
Yeah.
Is that the,
That's
okay?
it.
Yeah.
Terminal List. That is it. There's your series, Mike. It's Terminal List.
Okay, I'll try to check
Yeah.
that out.
It's Jeff Healy.
Jeff Healy Band.
Oh yeah, I have heard of Jeff
Yeah.
Healy. I did not know he was blind.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and tell you
Oh,
that
yeah.
right now. I did not know he was blind.
That dive was so bad they had to put up a chicken wire fence to keep people from throwing tomatoes and beer bottles at him.
Lenny put
Roadhouse.
here blind guy. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe he's referring to your Jeff Healy.
Yeah,
I remember
Jeff
the Jeff
Healy Band.
Healy band. That what's the name? Angel Eyes.
Angela. Angela.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It's the one song that really
Yeah, that was
stands
that's
out
been
to
his-
him.
that
Now
was
he's
his
not your
biggest
over
hit.
the top popular guy.
No,
but
no.
he is. Yeah, he is one I remember for sure.
It says he died at age 41 in 2008.
Oh,
Really.
we know that.
Tim McCarver. Let's talk about him a little bit while we're on the subject of death, which I hate to bring up. But man, we're losing somebody in the sports or music world or actor or something.
Raquel Welch.
Yeah, Raquel Welch this week.
Raquel Welch.
But both of these lived good lives in their
Yeah.
80s.
True.
But McCarver, Brett made a good point when we went to break. He said same category as Billy Packer. And, you know, he got on a lot of people's nerves.
Yeah.
Knew the game, though.
Oh, yeah.
Inside and out.
As did Packer.
Yes. And
The thing I didn't like about Tim McCarver was how he was a Cardinals homer.
did you think he really was
yeah, I
during
thought
their
he was,
games?
yeah.
I could see that. You know, and that's not – he played – I know he spent most of his time with the Cardinals, but it seemed like he played with 4 or 5 teams, didn't he,
Well,
in the career?
Didn't he, in his career, both catch Bob Gibson and Steve Carlton?
He may have. He may have been with the Phillies during the
He caught Carlton.
in the Carlton.
It says he was with the Phillies 70 to 72, and then again 75 to 80.
Yeah.
And the Cardinal years were
What it says 59 to 61, and then 63 to 69. So I don't know what he did in 62.
You said 63 to 69 with the Cardinals?
Yeah, and then again 73 to 74.
Well,
Okay.
he had about a 20-year career, didn't he?
or
Playing?
more.
Yeah, 59 to 80.
Wow.
He was also with the Expos for a year and the Red Sox for 2 years.
Yep. That would be 22 seasons. So that's a lot.
But I don't. Yeah, it doesn't have 1962 listed, so I don't know what he did in 1962. If he was
Well,
forced
yeah,
to take
that's
a
right.
year off, or
Could have been out all year with an injury, and not been with the team, not been signed by anybody. Yeah, Lenny says he became Carlton's personal catcher.
Yeah.
Steve Carlton's.
it looks like he
personal
was in the
catcher.
minor leagues, and it just doesn't list.
And there's a lot of guys that had their own catcher, especially knuckleballers.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Crackers. Any idea? You guys remember them?
I don't know.
Looks like they were a AAA affiliate for somebody before the Braves moved to Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
from 1901.
I actually
to-
thought the Atlanta Crackers was a old Negro League baseball team, but
Right.
maybe
Well, maybe they were at one time.
yeah.
01 to 65. The Atlanta Crackers were the baseball team of Atlanta.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
They were single A for a while, double A for a while, and then triple A.
And then Milwaukee Braves up and moved to Atlanta in 19. Do we know? 57?
Late 50s.
I don't know. I mean, I may be off.
When
I don't know
when
why
I think of the
57
Braves
came
in
to my mind.
Milwaukee, Warren Spahn is
Yeah.
the name that comes to mind.
Well, you know, Hank
Eddie
played.
Matthews.
Hank Aaron played
Yeah,
several
It was
seasons
later.
in was it 60s?
Yeah.
yeah. Eddie Matthews.
In the 60s.
Jason, listen to this. This is interesting here.
62? After the 62 season?
Is that when they went?
Or maybe that's when the ownership that moved them bought the team.
Yeah, that's possible too. Well, I know I was going to Atlanta in the late 60s to see with my dad.
I can't
to
tell
see.
if it was 62 or
games.
65 when they moved. It kind of mentions both of those years.
Yeah, I think it was early 60s.
Jason says in just over a year, the top 3 analysts from CBS in the 80s and 90s have all passed. John Madden, Billy Packer, and now Tim McCarver.
Wow.
Think
that's
about that.
right.
Yeah, 66
Three
was
of
their
the
first
best.
year in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
3 of the best, or at least well-known
Well, I
analysts
think you could
in
say-
their respective sport.
Yeah.
You know. So, there was some. You know what? The thing I remember the most, the first thing I thought about when I heard Tim McCarver died. What do you guys remember about? Does anything stand out? The first thing I remember was Dion throwing water on him
Yeah, that's right. Deion throwing
in the
water
locker
on him.
room. He was upset with something McCarver said. He dashed water on him.
That's right.
And then McCarver had some choice words for Dion. I can't remember what he said. I don't think he had any obscene language in it, but he,
Yeah.
kind of called him a baby
I
or
do
something
remember that.
similar to that. But that's the part, that's it's funny how you remember something just jumps in your mind about a person. And that's what it was for me. I remember.
Well, I remember watching him, and I think it was him and Joe Buck doing games.
Yeah.
About 20 years ago or so. I remember them doing Astros Cardinals series, and they were both so
St.
pro
Louis,
Cardinals that it drove me crazy.
Yeah. Who's the worst homer in today's broadcast world? Is there one? Can you tell? Is there one of any sport? I mean, do you think somebody you can tell when they're doing the game?
Boy, that's a tough one.
I don't ever remember Jim Nance playing for the Dallas Cowboys,
No. He
but
didn't.
boy, he sure does pull for
I
him.
think him.
I think he pulls for him more than
I
Romo.
think him and Joe Buck both do,
Do you?
and they're
Yeah.
both teamed with
Well,
former Cowboys.
Yeah, they are. I was going to say that might. I don't. Troy don't show it
No,
at all.
No, I think Joe Buck's
Romo
worse
a little
than Troy.
bit. Romo a little bit, but Troy just don't.
And I still think
He
Joe.
does. Troy's one of my favorites.
I think Joe Buck's a big Cardinal homer too.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know if he'll even do baseball now that he's with ESPN.
I would think once that's in you, it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, they get it honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
and maybe they're not trying to do it. It's just, I mean, how can you not? I mean,
Yeah, I think Aikman certainly shows no bias.
if
toward
Jason
his own
Barber
team.
broadcasts the Duke Carolina game, he's not going to get excited when Duke hits a basket.
Nope.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But even worse. It's even worse because they grew up there. They actually work. Their dads. I mean, like Buck's
Yeah.
dad. He was Cardinal, and he should have been Cardinal because that's who gave him his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah. I mean, I would think if Vin Scully had a son in broadcasting,
And Butch, we're not
he's
knocking the
gonna
Cardinals. I
favor the
promise.
Dodgers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, well, how could?
Which, if he had a son in broadcasting, he'd be 80 years old right now.
I don't like to hear. I can't think of his name right now. Durham. I don't like to hear
Woody
him do
Durham.
a Duke game.
Wes
Not Woody.
Durham.
Not Woody.
Oh yeah, West Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
West. I don't like to hear West do a Duke game because you can tell he obviously don't want Duke to win. You can really,
And
really
he's done
pick
a lot
up
of
on
Duke
it.
games
He
this
has.
year.
He has. But you can pick up on it that he and I understand it. He got.
And
it
hadn't he been
honesty.
paired with Eric Montross doing games?
I don't know.
Which is
don't know.
just doubles it.
I tell you a pair I've seen lately: Reese Davis and Debbie Antonelli. Has
Reese
anybody
Davis
seen
has been
them
doing a
lately?
lot of
ACC.
been doing a lot of Duke games.
A lot of Duke games.
I'm not a big Reese Davis fan.
No, I'm not either.
For
No.
whatever reason, I'm not. I think Reese Davis may not have a favorite team, but he has a favorite broadcaster, and it shows. It's himself.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I heard he was called up at age 17. This is Lenny talking about McGraw, one of the youngest
McCarver.
players. I mean, I did say McGraw.
Maybe Tug McGraw is who he's talking about.
Tug McGraw, yeah. One of the youngest players ever, but was sent back down to the minors for more seasoning.
Mm-hmm. So that's why he had a gap in his
and they
playing
dashed
career.
him with that Tony Creole
Lemon
Creole
pepper
sauce.
seasoning.
That's right. Criticized Dion for playing baseball and football on the same day for that water drenching. So, and you know, that probably shouldn't have drawn criticism. If the man is able to do it and allowed to do it, how many wouldn't do it? Okay? If you were a baseball and a football star and you could play both in the same day, would you do it? I absolutely would.
I guess Bo never did that, though, right?
I don't know. But that would not. I mean, yeah, I would be happy to do it. And he came in on by helicopter, right? Mm-hmm. Jason says that McCarver criticized Dion for playing football and baseball same day, saying Dion was being selfish. Dion's mom called him and said, "This man." She called Dion, said, "This man on TV just talking bad about you." Dion said since it made his mom mad, he wanted to get back at McCarver. And since he didn't drink, he didn't pour champagne, so he grabbed the water bucket, and dashed it on him.
Yeah.
It says he was.
Is that an incident on YouTube? I'd like to see it.
Rodney Willis says Gus Johnson and Kevin Harlan are greatest basketball broadcasters. Gus Johnson pulls for everybody.
Yeah. He just loves excitement.
And
Kevin Harlan is about as good as you can get, especially for radio.
He is good. And then Rodney also says, I always thought Tim McCarver was overly critical of everyone. Yeah. And that's what I say. He wasn't Billy Packer. You know, we put them kind of in the same category. Butch says, I'm always trashing his Cardinals. See y'all in the playoffs. I hope you see me in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to the playoffs.
And that would be the World Series.
That would be.
It says he was the favorite catcher of Bob Gibson and fostered a relationship with young pitcher Steve Carlton that would keep him in the major leagues later in his career, as he was Carlton's personal catcher
Right.
in those late years. And I was trying to see how many no-hitters he caught. It mentions 2, one by Rick Wise with the Phillies and Bill Stoneman with the Expos.
Is there a broadcaster out there that bothers y'all today? Is there one out there that you like? Oh God, I can't believe he's doing the game. You know,
Here of late,
and Vital does a lot of people that way, but I love Vital because Vital is a fan of the game that gets to do what he loves, and it shows.
Yeah, we know his stick and everything, and his phrasing.
He does not bother me at all.
Not at all, and what he did for college basketball and through the '80s when it was really getting big. Nah, but here of late, Tony Romo got on my nerves.
There's been a lot of criticism of Romo over the last several months about how when he came into the league, when he came into the broadcast booth, he added a lot to it. But now it's like
he's just gone over the top.
People are saying that's
well, I'll tell you one that was a letdown was Burkhart and Olsen.
Greg Olsen.
Yeah, that's their number one team.
Yeah, that's not, to me, that's just not good enough.
Well, how are you going to like Burkhart and
Brady? To be doing a Super Bowl,
B&B.
I think you need bigger names than those two.
Yeah, Olsen in his first year or so gets
Fox.
the Super Bowl.
Fox should have paid Buck and Aikman whatever they needed to pay him.
I would have rather had Buck and Aikman do it than who
I like Buck and Aikman, and I do not like them being on Monday night.
No,
I don't either.
And I watched the Mannings when they were on. I love the Mannings show.
I think the 4:25 game on Sunday has a bigger audience than Monday Night Football. I don't know why they win.
Because Monday Night Football doesn't get going to 8:30. It's late.
Roger says, I say no Mo Romo.
All right. No Mo
and
Romo.
the Sunday 4:25 usually has a better matchup than Monday Night Football.
It does.
Jason says he didn't like Joe Morgan. I've heard a lot of people say they didn't like Joe Morgan.
Like Joe
Morgan was critical of a lot a lot of things that maybe.
Yeah, but he had such high standards.
Oh, I did like.
Yeah, he did, but
the Sunday night baseball. It was John Miller. Was that who it was?
John Miller
and Joe Morgan
John Miller
for a
was
while.
great.
They were really good.
John Miller
He
was great.
eventually became the Giants broadcaster.
What do you guys think is the worst Monday night announcing crew in Monday Night Football history? Do you have one?
I can't remember them all, but if you
started in '72 or is it '71?
Well, the one that had Dennis Miller.
That was terrible. That was bad. Dennis Miller,
around in there. What was that? Late 90s?
I didn't mind
maybe?
Dennis Miller. I thought he brought. I thought he brought a little comic.
I'll tell you one.
Alex Karras did it.
One I really liked on there was John Gruden.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good.
Gruden was
Chucky.
Good. How about when he had Tony Kornheiser on there?
Nah, didn't like
that's
that.
not his cup of tea.
No.
I love Tony.
I love him on Pardon the Interruption.
Yeah, they're good together, but that's where he belongs.
Yeah,
and I think he knew that. He don't even like to fly.
No.
I mean, he won't fly, will he? Isn't he like a Madden and won't fly?
He won't fly. No.
Mick Mixon. Ned says Mick Mixon, thankful he retired.
Yeah.
So, I heard a lot of people.
Never dug Mick Mixon.
No, a lot of people.
Not even when he was
really
at Carolina.
Really didn't dig him. That's for sure. But, yeah, I'll just the best Monday night broadcast crew. To me.
Well, the best, I thought, was Al Michaels and Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
That's it. And you didn't even need to throw in Dan Deerdorf.
Yeah, but it was a three-man.
I know.
It was a three-man.
But when you have
crew.
Frank and Al, that's hard to beat.
It's hard to beat.
And I didn't even mind Frank and Howard and Dandy Don.
Oh no,
that didn't bother me either.
That was probably the most entertaining crew.
And that was.
But to me, the all-time best.
Brett don't
not
remember
just
it.
Monday night, but Pat
totally
Summerall and John Madden
no
to
doubt.
me was the best.
Pat Summerall was the best play-by-play guy ever in football.
That voice.
I'll take Al Michaels in baseball.
Yeah.
But I will take Pat Summerall in football because Pat Summerall's greatest attribute was his silence.
Yeah.
He knew when to be quiet.
He
knew when to be
shut
quiet
up.
and let the crowd roar and the play take over.
Well, he introduced
and be the
that.
star.
He was one of the first to just sort of shut up, let the crowd take over and the play and the whole thing.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's a book out there about him and his life.
Should be. I wonder too.
He fought alcoholism.
Yeah.
I heard a description of Summerall and Madden one time, and it said the non-drinker sounds drunk and the drinker sounds sober on the broadcast.
Right. Yeah, on the broadcast.
Yeah, because Madden was wide open, right?
You guys have any thoughts on the halftime show or anything else about the Super Bowl?
The halftime show,
Rihanna.
I missed.
Rihanna.
Yeah, I might have saw bits and pieces, but I'm fine with it. It's.
Yeah, I watched it and it was decent. I don't think she was singing the songs. I think it was just.
I think she was lip syncing.
I'm not sure any of them do. She's not afraid of heights.
Well,
I did learn that.
Was,
she's not afraid of heights.
Even
with child.
What did you think of her accompanying dance troupe in the choreography? What were those guys anyway? What were they supposed to be?
Don't know.
Okay.
I did.
I don't know. I thought it was a good show. But
yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I would rather hear the Rolling Stones or obviously
we have rebuttal.
Springsteen.
Rebuttal.
I thought Burkhardt and Olsen did a great job. Olsen is getting great praise.
I don't think they're bad. I just think you need bigger names.
You know what? Okay. Let me tell you, that's it. It's we weren't used to them.
Yeah.
No.
In 10 years, if they do one, it might be great. But I think it's what you get used to.
It is.
You
want your want your familiar voices.
Yeah, and
the
change. The change. I mean,
when I hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, I mean, I just feel good.
Well,
it's
a big game.
Entertained.
It's a big game, and
I know I'm going to learn something from Aikman, and it's going to be well done.
Yep. I do. I like both of those guys. There's some people who don't like Joe Buck, but he doesn't bother me at all.
No,
and Troy, like I said, he is maybe my favorite.
He's probably mine.
Fox just needs a more big time, number one.
They do
broadcast team.
Yeah,
they've got great pregame.
Oh yeah,
they got good sideline announcers.
You know what? There's only so many of those out there, and they are so sought after. They're writing their own checks right now, and that's what happened. Fox got outbid, and
for Brady.
I don't know how long the contracts are, how long they go for.
I know.
But,
well,
or how long those guys will do it.
on Monday night, for the past several years, Kevin Harlan does the NFL, whatever it's called, NFL radio or whatever. He does the broadcast for Monday Night Football. And at halftime, they always have Tom Brady call in, unless he's playing. And I always thought that would be a great team, would be Kevin Harlan and Tom Brady, because they just have a good relationship.
Like so you like Harlan better than Burkhardt?
Yes, yeah. I think Kevin Harlan's as good as anybody. He's great to listen to on the radio, and I think that would be a perfect team.
Kevin versus Kevin there.
What kind of announcer do you think Brady will be, and why does he need an extra year to get trained up? I mean, I don't see why he couldn't start this coming fall of 2023.
My guess is he wants a year off.
Yeah. Probably just doesn't want to do the travel.
And my guess also is
immediately
he won't be very good. He's
So.
kind of a man of few words.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk as.
He's good on. If you hear him on that Monday night halftime show, he's
good because he's going to have to talk.
Yeah,
and he's going to have to be critical.
He's good.
That's the whole thing.
Peyton Manning's a talker. Peyton Manning, he can talk about whatever.
And Brady has a good sense of humor. I think he'll be good.
I hope he is. Let's see. I got a couple comments here. Jason says the worst Monday night broadcast was Joe Tessitore, Booger McFarland, and Jason Witten, who might be the worst all time.
I got.
I felt bad for him.
I thought Tessitore was okay.
Yeah,
but Witten was. Yeah, he was.
And
how about Booger?
I didn't mind Booger.
Booger had the sideline thing.
I did not mind Booger at all either. But man, Witten just did not fit.
Poor old Witten.
And he knew it, and he got out as quick as he could get out. He got out as quick as he could get out.
I agree.
Let's see. Now Butch is going way back. Butch says best baseball guys were Dizzy Dean and Pee Wee Reese.
Boy, that's going back.
When they were together.
That's going back to the 50s, baby.
Yep. In his childhood.
Now the best baseball guy is Vin Scully.
Vin Scully?
Yes.
Vin's good.
No doubt.
But I like Bob Costas on baseball.
I like Costas on anything.
Yeah, but Bob Costas is class.
He is.
I honestly don't mind Joe Buck. I mean, if he does pull for the Cardinals.
I only don't like him when he's doing the Cardinals game.
So be it. But just because he got it, honestly, But he don't bother me doing any sport.
Did O.J. Simpson ever do a gig on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, he did Monday nights.
So did Fred.
He killed it.
Williamson. Oh yeah, O.J. killed it. Yeah, he killed it.
Let's see. Lenny says I heard McCarver caught 121 shutouts during his career, 9th all time. That's hard to believe. That's 9th all time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different era. Will never happen again.
No.
I didn't like Professor Mick Mixon when he was at UNC. Go back to the classroom is what Lenny says. And then Butch says Troy Aikman can thank Romo for his salary increase. Romo gets $17 million a year. Can you imagine get $17 million a year for what? 20 weeks of work?
Yeah.
Not 20 weeks, really. 20 days.
Yeah.
When it comes right down to it, I know you have to prepare, but 20 days.
They spend the whole week preparing.
Yeah, I know. Well, do they or not?
3 or 4 days, anyway.
Yeah. My guess is they prepare.
But it's just watching football.
At home. That's
yeah,
right.
Just watching tape.
Yeah, rough job. Rough job. $17 million a year to watch football. Fox didn't match Troy with the salary and gave Troy an out after 21 seasons. God, I didn't realize he had been doing it that long. 21 seasons to look for another job. Troy was headed to Amazon. Then ESPN offered him $18.5 a year. Buck had 1 year remaining on his contract, and he asked Fox if he could get out since Troy left. Fox let him out of his contract. He's making $15 million a year at ESPN, and his wife also works. Yep, she does at ESPN. So they won't hurt for money for a while, I wouldn't think.
Yeah,
either one of them. And it always makes you wonder, and thank goodness we have it, who fills the shoes of these guys that we do like so good, in 10 years from now, Yeah. But there'll be somebody. I mean, I would have thought, like we still think, or some people still think, I'm with Brett on it, that Madden and Summerall were the best duo. but we didn't fall off that much by getting Aikman and Joe. But somebody will fill those shoes. Now Monday night has really had a time. I'll say that. And they had to spend the money because they're, if it's the only game on, is it going to affect whether you watch it or not? Who the crew is? If it's the only game on? No.
I'm probably going to watch it anyway.
Right. So why in the world did they offer all that money on Monday night when it's the only game in town?
I know.
So here's
people are going to watch it either way.
A website that did voting on the best NFL broadcast teams, and it says there were 34,000 votes for 17 broadcast teams. And this is across the board: CBS, ESPN, Fox,
all together,
Amazon. Yep. I doubt you would guess who the number one team is.
Wow, you're kidding me. You are kidding me.
Who's the Amazon team?
That's Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
That's right.
I don't like Herbstreit.
I just can't get used to him doing
in the studio. NFL. Analyst again, I like him there.
Oh yeah, he's good on game day.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't really care for him doing a game.
Well, they were
like him when he's teamed with Chris Fowler for the big.
They were voted 8.
Chris Fowler.
They were voted 8 out of 17. Michaels and Herbstreit.
Okay.
Number 1.
Well, Joe and Troy had to be up there.
Number 1 is a CBS team. Ian Eagle and Charles Davis.
Wow. Ian Eagle got Broadcaster of the Year this year. He's underrated.
Number 2 is also a CBS team.
He's obviously not underrated there, but I think he's underrated by most people that I know. But he did win Broadcaster of the Year this year.
Number 2, Kevin Harlan and Trent Green.
Okay. And Trent Green wasn't even mentioned.
No.
By us or our listeners.
Number 3, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. 4 was Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. So that's still no Fox out of the top 4. Number 5, Tirico and Collinsworth, which is NBC.
Crew. I like a lot of people don't like Collinsworth. I like Collinsworth.
I like Collinsworth.
Yeah. And then number 6 is Burkhart and Olsen.
Number 6, just in the NFL broadcast.
And number 7 is another Fox crew, Joe Davis and Daryl Johnston.
I don't even know Joe.
Joe Davis. He does a lot of baseball, Fox baseball.
Yeah, but I cannot picture him. I know the name, and
he's a young guy.
I know who he works with, but I can't picture him.
Number 9, Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma, another Fox crew.
There again, broadcaster's son.
10, Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez. I didn't even know that was a broadcast team.
Who is it?
Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez is, I don't know. He leaves a little bit to be desired, but he's good in interviews, like on different talk shows. But I'm not sure about his broadcasting. More old school from Butch, Milo Hamilton and Ernie Johnson. I remember those days. Those were Braves announcers. Go get them, Braves. That's exactly right. And of course, the Johnson tree just continued and continued with Ernie, and who was the other one that the family just kept going? The Careys. With the Braves.
Oh, yeah.
Skip
Carey,
Chip
and then Chip. Yeah.
I don't know who the Trip, Rip. Maybe.
Rip.
We got to take a time out. We appreciate you tuning in this morning. Going to come back with high school basketball scores from last night here in just a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back. Sports Talk, glad to have you with us. Beautiful Saturday morning outside, a little chilly, but should get better. Jason says Joe Davis took over number 1 play-by-play on baseball for Fox. Iron Eagle will take over for Jim Nance when Nance, after call on the Final Fours. Now, Nance is still doing this one, right?
Yeah.
And
I think so.
And this
This is last
here
Final Four.
it is. He said in 24. Yep. So,
But he's not quitting golf or football yet.
Right. Going to ease off a little bit. He will reunite with Bill Raftery. He and Raftery called Nets games together. Boy, that had to be a blast in the 90s and 2000s. I'm not sure I'd want that job for whatever it paid.
No New Jersey Nets.
New Jersey Nets.
Oh, me.
They did make a finals in
but I will say
early 2000s.
There are worse.
With Jason Kidd.
There are
Yeah.
Who would be the worst broadcasting job to have?
Oh, the Hornets.
And it might be.
Mm-hmm.
It might be.
What are the worst?
You know,
Yeah.
really any baseball team wouldn't be terrible. Even the Pirates.
That's a lot of games,
or the
though.
bottom dwellers.
A lot of games.
But it is a lot of games. But
and can you imagine when you're 40 games under 500 and you still got 40 games to go? And,
Oh, yeah. That could be a
well, you know what the
grind.
best part about being a baseball broadcaster would be, though? You know, in each sport you get to go to all the cities. But in baseball you get to stay 3 days.
Yeah.
So you get at least to get to –
You talking about the weekend series? Yeah.
So you're telling me the weekday series don't go 3 days, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's right. The shortest series is
What
2
about
days.
like
in
the
baseball.
Marlins? That probably ranked pretty low.
But you'd be in Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a.
Yeah, I know.
To me, that's not a
That makes
draw.
it worse.
Yeah.
Go out on South Beach by
South
day.
Beach not that appealing.
Yeah.
Well, South Beach, yeah, but as far as the crowds and the I don't think I'd want to live in Miami.
Oh no, definitely not.
Good place to visit.
That'd be one of those good 3-day weekends, once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Lenny says the late great Dick Enberg, he could do any sport, and he was great.
Yeah.
And I actually met him one time and got his autograph. Great human being.
Yeah, he was.
He could do any sport
All of
from late night UCLA basketball on TVS to NFL on Sunday. Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
Remember, I
Enberg
used
was
to
gold.
do
He was gold.
NBC football. Merlin Olsen was one of his
Yep, for a long time.
colleagues.
Did he
For a
do
long time, they were a
the
team.
horse racing too, Dick Enberg? Seems like he did the
He did
Kentucky
everything.
Derbies for a while.
Now that
I don't think he did.
I would
that.
have a hard time saying who called Kentucky. I really would. I mean, I don't know if I could tell you anybody that called.
And he's
Kentucky
moving
Derby.
like a tremendous machine. Remember that one, Secretariat?
That's what Mike hears all the time.
Yeah.
Let's run through some basketball scores from last night. These were conference tournament championships last night. Surrey Central beat East Surrey 67 to 60. Charlotte Catholic over Providence 74 to 59. They gonna make a run in the 4A, Brett?
I don't know. That's just
Catholic.
a semifinal game.
Oh, is it?
Yep, their
So-
championships today.
Wow,
with
wow.
East Meck.
Okay, so some are playing on Saturdays. So how can the pairings come out
That's
today?
I don't think those matter. I don't think that championship matters.
Really, I will tell you this: the pairings are going to be delayed today anyway. There was a death of a NCHSAA Hall of Famer yesterday, and I'm sorry, the name slips
Is
me
that
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and somebody that the funeral. The death wasn't yesterday. The funeral is today.
Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of people that do that kind of stuff attending a funeral. So the pairings probably won't come out to 5 or 6 o'clock tonight.
Not at 2
Yeah,
like they normally would.
Yep, for the basketball pairings. You get that, Rodney Willis? Do not call me and say, where can I find the pairings? They won't be out. He called me yesterday wanting to know where he could find the information.
I
I
guess
said, well, it won't be released
He
till
wants to know where
Saturday.
those Lady Rebels are going.
So now it'll be later on Saturday. And he asked me where there was games last night, but I don't remember seeing him at CVCC last night.
Yeah.
Although I did see my good friend Victor Morales and family at
Okay.
CVCC last night. If Victor's tuned in this morning,
Was there a big crowd for the tournament
yes,
finals?
yes, very good crowd, very good crowd. And we only had 3 schools represented.
I know.
but it was still
Newton Conover had both too.
They did. Richmond County beat Scotland County. Sounds like a football game. 86 to 71 on Friday night. How about this one? Millbrook 109 to 76 over Wake Forest. 109 points in a high school basketball game
Wow.
is, and unless they scored a lot in the overtime period, it didn't go to overtime. Can anybody ever? I'm just trying to see how they scored 109. Was it extended? But that means they would have outscored them by 33 in the overtime period. And I don't think that happened. Do you?
I doubt it. Chick Anderson is who called the Secretariat
Chicken.
Is
the
that-
tremendous machine.
Tremendous machine.
That's not the Laker. What was Chick?
Chick Hearn.
Chick
yeah,
Hearn.
yeah. That's the first thing I thought about. How many chicks are there out there? The late Chick Lineberg.
Yeah.
That we know. New Hanover beat Hoggard 53 to 52 last night in high school basketball. Central Cabarrus has been a machine all year long. 2 years actually. They beat Concord last night 89 to 61. Reedsville over T.W. Andrews 70 to 59. Reedsville could be the 1 or 2 seed in the 2A playoffs, which come out late today. North Mac over Chambers 65 to 59. I think North Mac might have led that conference from start to finish. Cap it off here with the tournament championship. West Caldwell's win last night over the Newton Conover boys was 54 to 40. Newton earned the right to get there. They had upset Maiden on Thursday night. And then looked like last night, about halftime, they just kind of ran out of gas. They had to play back-to-back nights. And West Caldwell is a very good team, very well coached, very disciplined. Billy Anderson does a really good job with that team. I could see them going deep in the 2A playoffs. I don't know how deep, but they're a solid basketball team.
Yeah. And
they're going to be prepared to play whoever it is that they meet.
They went pretty deep last year.
I thought they did.
I think RS Central knocked them out in maybe the 4th round.
Was it?
I think it was the 4th.
Let's see, Farmville Central, who we know all well in high school basketball, they beat Green Central 76-63 last night. In the Western Foothills Championship game, Hickory defeated North Lincoln 77-67. North Lincoln had earned the right to get their mic by defeating East Lincoln for a second time this year. North beat East 2 out of 3 this year.
60-57 in OT, right?
Yes, it was
night.
overtime. Yeah, because Chris Keegan, one of the officials at CVCC last night, said that he had 2 games that both went to overtime over at North Iredale in those semifinals.
I saw those 2 plays. They're very evenly matched. Both pretty good, solid teams, and when they went at it, they had some good ones.
They did. Good battles.
And is that at North Iredale? Is that where their finals?
Yes.
Yeah.
North Iredale was.
I thought I saw a picture of the North Iredale gym.
Somebody said they have a really new, nice gym at North Iredale now, and it's kind of off campus or maybe not right at the school, maybe 100 yards away or something like that. But said the gym is really nice at North Iredale. I remember going to North Iredale. Mike does too, way back in the in the 80s. What was the big? What was the conference that Lincoln and East were in with Statesville and West Iredale, North Iredale, and South Iredale?
I thought that was the Western Piedmont 3A.
It might have been the Western Piedmont 3A, but then
not
that's
the
right.
Big Six.
The Big Six was with High Brighton and West Caldwell. Yeah. And St. Stephen's and Ford and Lincoln and East Lincoln.
Yeah, that was the Big Six.
Two schools from 3 different counties.
I think the one you're talking about is the Western Piedmont 3A.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is.
Mooresville was in it.
Yep.
Statesville.
Yes, they were. More scores from last night. Robbinsville beat Murphy 63-52. Lincoln Charter over Christ the King 70-65. I'm pretty sure that was the championship in that. Lincoln Charter entered conference play this year with a losing record, and they're going to be
tough.
Lost since.
They're going to be tough in the playoffs.
Yep, they're going to be
they hadn't lost to many 2A teams. I know that.
No, and a lot of those they lost to were private teams, even out-of-state teams.
So this program has not dropped off since Bradley Gabriel left the coaching ranks there, apparently. Not much, anyway.
Less than 1%.
Yeah.
I would say. Wouldn't you, Brett?
Well, and they've moved up to 2A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So competition's tougher. I don't think their team's any less talented than it was.
Still getting talented athletes.
Salisbury beat Thomasville last night 69-62. Mooresville falls to Cox Mill. Cox Mill 68-62 in that one. Robinson beat Mount Pleasant 81-45.
Yeah, Robinson's going to be tough in the 2A playoffs.
Yep.
That's the defending state champions.
And if I'm not mistaken, don't they go to 3A next year?
Yeah.
But they have to move up. It's not realignment year, but they have to move up to 3A next year because of their numbers.
Well, they requested a move.
Did they?
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's conference related.
Yeah.
Travel related, maybe.
Probably. Hendersonville beat RS Central last night 84-73. I'm not exactly sure how that conference went.
I think Hendersonville dominated that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. Alexander Central beat West Caldwell 57-53. North Surrey. Now, I'm here. This is your other team in 2A. They're going to be the 1 or the 2. 99 points last night. They won their championship game by 50. 99-49.
Yeah, I think they're the 1 seed in the West.
Are they?
I think they will be.
When North Surrey's good, they are good. So look out. I've seen them play a couple times.
Yeah, Hendersonville's 23-3.
Okay, 23-3.
One conference loss.
RS?
Well, I'm trying to find it.
I can't remember who else is in that conference.
Yeah, RS.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew RS was pretty
Their other
good.
losses were to Crest and North Henderson.
And how much did I say they won by last night?
I think it's about 15.
I lost it here.
11.
There it is. 11, yep. 84-7.
So they beat RS Central the last 2 times they played. They lost the first one. Beat them by 26 one time.
Wow. Sun Valley beats Marvin Ridge 55-50. Mountain Heritage. Now they're a good team in 1A.
Yeah.
69-50 last night over Avery County. They may be the 1 seed in the West in 1A. I'm not exactly sure. East Mac, I've seen those guys play. They're really good too. They beat Rocky River last night 53-50.
Yeah, they'll play Charlotte Catholic. It says today at 10 a.m.
East Mac and Charlotte Catholic, 10 a.m. I bet
So
it's
I
for
don't know-
seeding purposes.
I don't know.
That's why they're playing so early. Maybe it got pushed back for some reason.
Well, it makes me wonder if there's a girls' game. You think there's a girls' game before 10 a.m.?
I don't know. Inclement weather. We have some snow in the
In Charlotte.
in the Charlotte area that delayed the game. AC Reynolds. Here's one of the better games tonight. AC Reynolds beat a good Inca team 60-58 last night, and I'm guessing that was that conference championship as well. The seedings, don't forget, those things won't come out till later today due to a funeral that most of the NCHSAA, probably all of them, will attend from what I understand. So
It looks like that
don't go
Charlotte
searching too early.
that Charlotte conference, their girls' championship was last night.
Was it?
So I don't know why the boys got pushed back.
You never know. I mean,
Catholic beat Independence girls
in the championship.
by 18. Only Independence's third loss.
All right, let's take our final time out. We appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk this morning. Back with the fourth quarter here in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. At Stiefel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Full Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back. Sports Talk. David Keever, Mike Powell, Brett Keever, Sully, Lanny in the house this morning. Everybody's busy doing something or another. I got to get into this a little bit. Proposal came out a couple days ago. You know what that proposal was, Mike Powell?
I believe I heard yesterday that it's a proposal to go to 7 classifications.
It is.
In high school athletics.
It is. And I'll tell you.
And I thought 6 was a stretch, but 7. Ooh.
I am 101% for it. I wish it would
7?
pass, but I'm going to. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. North Carolina, by far, I've done research on the Southeast. I haven't really done it more than that, but on the Southeast, North Carolina has the biggest classes by far. I mean, South Carolina's biggest class is around 45. We have 100 in some classes. Is that fair? You know who we're cheating, don't you, Mike? We're cheating a lot of kids out of state championships that they would have in other states.
Yeah.
Because
I agree with
Georgia with 7 classes has less high schools than North Carolina. South Carolina has more classes. We don't do it right, and it's never going to pass.
Yeah.
It's never going to pass because it takes 75%. Who are the idiots that made it take 75%?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
And guess what? If you don't vote, it's a no vote.
It's a no vote. So it's kind of stacked, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I think this came from, I've heard some different rumblings that this came from A.L. Brown. This proposal came from A.L. Brown. And I hope A.L. Brown carries a lot of weight because I've always respected a lot of things A.L. Brown does throughout the years. And I hope they carry a lot of weight. And I hope they make a lot of phone calls and tell people why this is better than the situation that we have right now with just 4 state champions. Mm-hmm. You know, they broke the rules for 20 years and got by with subdividing one sport. Broke the bylaws for 20 years. Somebody finally called them out, mentioned the word lawsuit, boom, it's all over.
Yeah.
And there's no more subdividing
no more
football.
Subdividing.
You want to make more money, state? Do this.
Yeah.
You got 7 champs and 7 state championship games. Guess what it'll do? It will shorten your seasons. People want to see the seasons shortened a little bit, the football especially. If you go with 7 champs, you don't play with 5 rounds.
That's right.
Right now we're playing 6.
6. But you did reduce it to 10 games, the regular season.
Because you can't play but 16. Right. It's the only reason.
Yeah.
You can go to 15 if you want to, if you do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to read Lenny's comment here real quick, and I'm going to get back to the subject. He said the game may have been back because of a player at Rocky River.
That's right.
Earlier in the week, game collapsed, and the game was delayed for a day.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
I did read that.
Yeah, there you go. That explains what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
But this would be the amendment, if it would happen, calls for no more than 64 teams in a classification, and that's why we would have 7 classes, because if there's no more than 64, you got to have 7 to accommodate everybody. The smallest schools, 1 through 64, and then 65 through 128, and so on, would make up the 7 or even 8 classifications if it happened to that. North Carolina right now has got around 400 and some schools. When we went to 4 classifications, I read this yesterday. When we went to 4 classifications in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, there was around 200 schools.
Then we have double that.
430.
Wow. We've added schools like crazy.
And we've not.
The charters.
We've not made the adjustments.
So what was it before it went to 4 classifications?
I don't know. I don't ever remember.
Was it more or less?
I don't either.
I don't ever remember it being anything other than 4, and they just kept adding the schools. But I don't know. I really don't know how many classes there were before that. But you used to have, Butch and Tom Watson and myself. We talked about this last night, where you used to have just a Western association that a lot of the teams in the West belong to.
This says the NCHSAA has had 4 classes in some sports since at least 1960.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was before.
Prior to that,
1960.
it may not even been any classifications.
Yeah.
It might have been everybody together.
Yeah.
At least they did wise up and decide that the schools with 2,000 shouldn't be playing the schools with 500.
Yeah.
But now, you still have some discrepancies. I think some of the 4A schools are the ones that tend to not vote, but I think they should vote because if you have 1,800 in your 4A school, do you want to play Myers Park with 3,500? You know, and things like that.
Well, and I think that's where A.L. Brown is. They're in 4A, and they have about half the number of some of those big
it's not right.
Charlotte schools.
It's not right.
So that's probably where this came from.
Yeah. Well,
they're one of the schools that it's not fair
whoever
to.
headed this up's done a lot of work, and they've thought it through. And I hope it passes. I really would like to see it pass. But 75%.
That is extraordinary.
How do you change that?
Yeah.
How do you go about getting that changed? Because nothing will ever pass. Could you imagine if we had our elections?
Well, the worst part is if you don't vote. If you don't vote, it counts as a no.
It is.
That's the worst part.
That's terrible.
That's what's going to make it.
It should not count for anything. It should be nil.
Or you should have to vote or be penalized.
Yeah, be penalized for not voting.
Why do we have? I'm guessing that the ADs. Why do we have ADs that don't care enough to vote?
Yeah, I mean, it should be part of their job description.
Yeah, I can't imagine that everybody I know that's an AD won't vote on this. I mean, because it's going. If you feel like it's going to hurt you, number one, I'd like to know the explanation of why it would hurt you. But I think everybody, at least in the level that we cover more, this would be a plus. I mean, this is you want a chance at winning a state championship? Break it down like it ought to be. Break it down like the other states do it. You know, I mean, look at Florida. Florida might have 12 state champs. They have so many schools. It's a lot of state champions in Florida.
Hypothetically, if that would pass, where do you think some of our teams would fall? I know my alma mater, Cherryville, would probably go up to 2A.
But they'd still be playing. It doesn't matter where you go. You're going to be playing schools your size.
That's right.
You know,
and a much smaller number of schools.
Just smaller number of
to
schools.
Compete with.
Yep. I mean,
instead of 100, you're taking it down to 60.
Yep. Scott Cloninger says the non-votes is what shot it down last time.
Yeah.
Yep. I think you should be required to vote.
Yeah, I think so.
That should be part of your duty to. Scott, tell me why somebody wouldn't vote.
Indeed, it should.
Because they just flat don't care. Now, there's going to be some people that might forget or something like that, but guess what? Give them a quick call or an email and say, hey, I got to have your vote. You want to be a member of the Athletic Association? I need a vote. Otherwise, we'll just set you outside. You don't need to be a part of it.
A penalty for not voting.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Yep. Either vote or $1,000. Either way you want to go.
Or have it,
Any idea when this might come up?
We'll
go that far before it goes to the membership, or
it'll be voted.
I mean, they could have a.
I read, I think in this story, Mike, and it's on Twitter. If you want to look, it's under High School OT.
High School OT, okay.
If you want to look, it's on Twitter, and
I mean, they could have a meeting with all athletic directors in attendance, and if you're not there, you don't get to vote. If you're there, you vote. Yeah,
that'd be great. I'd like that.
That way, everybody votes at one time in one place,
and everybody votes that wants to.
Yeah.
Schools have until March 1st to submit any questions about the changes, and all those questions will be directed to. I think all those questions will be directed to the people that made the proposal, and I'm sure they're ready. I will bet you they've got an answer for just about anything you can ask, because I think the homework has been done on this one. The board of directors received the amendment proposal during its winter board meeting and announced the vote of a full membership would be held in the spring. Well, that's fictional because it won't be a vote of the full membership. They will offer them the chance to vote, but I'm guessing that, looks like we've been talking about, there's going to be people that don't want to vote on this. But don't think about anything but the student athletes.
Yeah,
and the fact you're robbing them of state championships.
Mm-hmm.
That's what stands out to me. We're robbing those, and is it going to be more work? Yeah, you got to draw up more brackets, hire more people. I mean,
and you got to have more people at the sites.
You do.
You got 7 games, 7 championships.
But it's time for us to catch up with the other states, Mike.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
It's time. It's time for us to catch up with the other states. Butch says that ain't going to happen, Brett, and I don't know which part he's talking about.
Probably everybody meeting in one place at one time.
That's it. Yeah,
that
to vote.
Happen.
Yep. But like he said though, Butch, it would be great if you had to be there that one day, to vote. I mean, guess what? Everybody in this world is required to be somewhere, sometime at any given
be
time.
somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to. I get a text here. It says, "My take: some ads sadly just are that lazy and don't care, and don't check emails, or they procrastinate."
Yep.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. Then put them in 4A.
Yeah.
They'll vote next time. Put them in large 4A, and they will. No, let me take that back. Put them in 7A. Right? Let's put them in 7A. Let's put those that don't want to vote in 7A. Let's go ahead and have it.
Purgatory.
Let's get our classifications like they need to be. Go ahead and do the research. Look at it. I think North Carolina has some of the largest classes.
Yeah.
At least in the Southeast they do. I mean, it's just terrible. And it is the student athletes that we're robbing of state championships. Let's go ahead and get it done so in 30 years the people make the right decision and say, God, why didn't we do this 50 years ago? That's what's gonna be said, and look how many people miss out on chances to win state championships. I'm glad somebody sat down and probably spent months on this, and I hope people will take that into consideration.
Did you say it was the athletic director?
I do not know any of that.
Okay.
I'm guessing A.L. Brown. That's because somebody told me.
Okay.
They thought it came from A.L. Brown. So
okay.
I'm guessing. I mean, I can't even confirm that. But whoever it is, whoever sat down and did it deserves a raise, and a pat on the back from every single person that thinks this would be the right way to go. And I just want to know why. I don't want the answer because it's the way it's always been. Because guess what? Name me a sport out there today that's the way it's always been. Because if you stay the way it's always been, what's going to happen?
Even Major League Baseball is making big changes.
Yeah,
speeding up the game.
And that's the most the way it's always been sport there is.
That's resisted any kind of change.
Here's another one that probably don't want me to read the name, and I won't. Another text. The problem is most members of the voting body are principals and superintendents, and believe it or not, do not really care about sports.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's why this should be done by ADs.
Yes.
The ones that really are involved in the sports and want the best for the sports. And I would say if it's left up to superintendents and principals, then there's going to be a lot of no votes.
Yep. Because
we don't give I mean, that's and that's not a good attitude. It needs to be, it just needs to be done. And please consider the student athletes and the kids that are getting robbed of chances at winning state titles because we only have 4. We have one state champion for 100 schools per 100 schools, over 100 now actually when you got 430, and then you got South Carolina, who's over there, much smarter than North Carolina, where they got 45 schools or around that number in each classification because they love their sports. They love their sports. A lot more money goes into athletics in South Carolina. Yeah, no, it don't go into their highways, but it does go into sports, and it seems like they care about it a little bit more. Go to a South Carolina campus and look at some of the facilities. Just ride down to York. That's one of the closest ones. Go down there and look at the University of York and that campus and how it was built for high school athletics. Go to Rock Hill. Go to any of them schools in Rock Hill. You will be shocked at what you see, wouldn't you? At some of those schools in Rock Hill, like Northwestern and some of the others. It's different. It's different. And I got to guess the other states are that way too, like Georgia and Florida for sure. But we need to catch up. We need to catch up and get with the program and reward our student athletes. Fussed enough about that. What else you got?
Well, you can finish up the scores.
Did I leave some out?
Well,
help me. I did because I ran out.
Yeah, here's a final.
Well,
East Gaston 76, Bessemer City 75.
Yes.
South Peach.
Bessemer had beat Shelby the night before, right? For the second time this year, Bessemer had beat Shelby to get to the championship game. But and I had to be a classic, Mike, 76, 75.
And East Gaston with their 22nd win equals the most wins they've ever had.
That's awesome.
In a single season.
That's awesome. So Hunter Huss beating South Point, you think that was the championship game of that tournament?
It was.
Wow. Huss 52, South Point 49.
They beat South Point 2 out of 3 times.
Where did they
this year.
finish in the? Where did Huss
South
finish
Point won
in
the regular
standings?
season.
Did they?
For the first time ever in basketball.
Yeah.
Boys basketball.
Really? Their first time ever in boys basketball winning a conference title.
Yep.
Wow, that's hard to believe as long as the school's been around.
I know. Well, such a football school, right?
Yeah, I know, but still. In baseball, they usually have good baseball.
The head coach of the Red Raiders, Cody Cubs, is also the cross-country coach at Gaston College.
So South Point finished the regular season 12-3. Crest, Hunter Huss, and Kings Mountain were all 10-4.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Yeah, 12.
That's 15 games versus 14 games.
games.
Something's not right there.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what happens sometimes in max preps. I had an issue with this week, and I had to ask some ADs to fix it. They put their score in under conference game, and it should be under conference tournament game.
That's probably what. What happened.
And that
there.
flaws the conference standings.
So South Point was probably 12-2 in the regular season.
Yeah.
And somehow last
14
night's
would be
loss
it.
got put in as a conference game.
8-team conference, so 14 games would be all that really counted on your conference.
Yeah.
I just missed that one. I was calling them all out, but I just missed that one. Went right over it for some reason.
Well, that East Gaston and Bessemer City sounded like a great game. 76-75.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the East Lincoln girls as well. East Lincoln girls sweep. They win their conference. They win their tournament. They move to 27-0 now.
27-0.
I think it's 27-0 now. Excuse me.
They have not lost since they joined the. They have not lost in the conference since they joined the Western Foothills 3A. Correct.
Last night, Mike Powell, they played St. Stephen's at halftime. It was 26-25.
Wow, they
St.
trailed.
Stephen's.
They trailed.
Yep. They outscored them 17-11 in the third and 20-16 in the fourth to win that game. Madison Self 20 points and Emma Montanari 15 to lead East Lincoln last night. Start 2 freshmen on that team.
Yeah.
And they're 27-0.
28. I see 28 straight regular season wins in the conference. Plus, you had the tournament. That's what 34-0 in the conference.
Yep. They've not lost a conference game in the first 2 years of that league. Also, congratulations, Newton Conover girls.
Yeah.
Finally got over the hump and were able to beat East Burke last night. Let me tell you the only disappointing thing there was about the CVAC tournament, Mike. A lot of excitement and everything, but the only disappointing thing about the CVAC tournament, the 6 games played at Catawba Valley Community College were all decided by double digits.
Well, it is.
We had no close games.
No
No games that came – you always get that buzzer beater in a tournament and stuff like that. And every game was – I think every game was 12 or more, maybe 14. Most were 14 or more.
Not much drama.
There was no drama. No drama.
Here's one that didn't have much drama in the Southern Piedmont 1A 2A girls final. Shelby 59, Bessemer City 38.
Yeah, and Shelby, I was talking to somebody about their girls the other day. They still have a Hollifielder.
One of the Hollifields, yeah.
For a long run. And,
Allie, I believe.
Well, I think I've heard there's still some in middle school, too.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so.
What a legacy of the Hollifields.
No kidding. No kidding.
Shelby.
Yeah. And what was the first one?
They've got a young one on the football team right now.
Do they?
The young Hollifield.
Another Hollifield?
Not a girl.
No, not a girl.
Yeah. Although there are some
Who
females
started
who play
it all?
football
That
now.
was Dax, the first big Dax Hollifield.
Yeah, and then his brother,
Jack,
also went to
and then
Dax, Jack, Mac.
The 2 girls.
And then the girls.
Kate. Is it Kate?
Kate.
And Allie? Did you say
Allie?
That's a TV show. Back from
Kate
the
and Allie.
80s, isn't it? Mike, Kate and Allie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they got the names.
Could be.
Who knows?
And then there's another boy that's, I think, maybe a freshman that played football this year.
I wonder if he's Aubrey Hollifield's son.
Well, it's either him or the nephew.
The nephew,
yeah. Because there's double production of Hollifields coming out over there, and they are producing winners. They are producing winners, I can tell you that. Any final thoughts? I didn't hear the movie.
Well, did you mention Mason Avery's going for?
I did. Mason Avery, DJ Spring. We did mention that a little earlier, that they're both going for state titles today.
Is Avery
in their
defending?
respective. No, he finished third last year.
Okay.
I think it was.
It looks like he'll be going against Nicholas Harris from Webb High School.
Yeah.
Okay.
DJ Spring.
Does it have their records?
Yeah, Mason Avery says 43-2.
Yeah.
Nicholas Harris 37-6.
Okay.
And then DJ Spring 29-1 will take on Dylan Ellis from Bunn, who's 34-6.
Sometimes records are deceiving because guys might wrestle up a weight class just to get, because there's nobody in their weight class, so they'll wrestle up and they might lose one like that. So.
And then several Fred T. Ford wrestlers.
Oh yeah, they're
today.
Just yep. I'm sure that's a dominating program.
Looks
right
like
now.
4 from Ford.
4 from Ford.
Will go for a state championship.
Boy, this area is such a mecca.
It is.
For high
It is. Lincoln and Catawba County is.
Lincoln and Catawba County.
Showcased, that's for sure. We got to run. Thanks for tuning in this morning. For Brett, Mike, I'm David. See you next week on Sports Talk.